I just made these delicious banana chocolate chip bars from my cookbook. There they are, and I'm gonna show you how I do it. I'm using a 9 by 13 inch pan. I've got this one, it's silicone, so it's easy to pop everything out, but if you don't, then grease it or line it with some parchment paper. I like this one because it has a lid and I can store it later. Then in a separate small container, I'm going to mix some water and some flax meal and whisk it up. Then I'm gonna set it aside. In a large bowl, I'm gonna peel these directly. You can see they're so ripe, they're falling apart. I'm curious to know how ripe you let your banana sit. Sometimes I pass by some compost piles in my neighborhood and I'll see ripe bananas and I'm almost tempted to go and pick them up, but I don't know which dogs have passed by already, so I leave them. But I will use mine even when they're really brown. I will find a purpose, if not for banana bread or banana bars. I'll make smoothies, I'll make banana ice cream, you name it. And I'm gonna use a potato masher to give these a little mash before we add in the oil. If you like some chunks in your banana bars, you don't have to mash it until it's totally pureed. You can leave some chunks. Then I'm gonna add in some oil, some plant-based milk. You can use any variety. I got some vanilla extract. Then I'm gonna mix everything together. Then add in your all-purpose flour, brown sugar, add in some baking powder, salt, and a little bit of cinnamon. Don't forget to add in your flax mixture. If it is separating, give it one more mix and you'll see that it has turned really thick. This is going to be a binder. Mix everything up until it's well combined, but don't over mix it. Scrape down the sides of the bowl. Then add in some chocolate chips. I'm using these chocolate chunks from Trader Joe's and I'm adding in about a cup, but you can eyeball it. And then I'm gonna reserve a little bit and I'll show you why. Again, my 9 by 13 inch pan is silicone, so I'm not gonna line it and I'm not gonna grease it, but if yours is not, don't forget to do that. Pour your batter directly into the pan. And then spread it evenly throughout the pan. Then I like to take some of those chocolate chips or chocolate chunks that I've reserved and sprinkle them on top. And I like to press them down just a tiny bit. Take it to the oven. Put it in the oven for 50 minutes. I'm testing the center with a toothpick. If it comes out dry, then it's done. Then I'm gonna set it aside for a bit to let it cool. Here it is, and it looks so good. I let it cool for a little bit so that I can easily handle it, but I can still feel that it is warm, and actually I just accidentally touched a chocolate chip that melted on me, so I am going to use my cake cutter, and this one's fun because it's my wedding cake cutter that my mother-in-law bought for me for my bridal shower, and I get a lot of use out of it still. I am gonna cut myself a square. I'm gonna grab a spatula. I think that's gonna be the best, easiest option to get this out in a pretty way. This is what it looks like. It looks so beautiful, and I'm gonna put it on a plate. There it is. I have this whole container that I need to get through. They freeze really well too, so if you want to let them cool completely, like overnight, and then portion them in individual portion sizes and put them in little silicone baggies or something like that. Anything that's freezer safe, you could even put them in a Tupperware with some parchment paper between them if you want. Then thaw them before you eat them and they'll be great. I'm gonna probably cut mine tomorrow, and when I let it cool overnight, I'm just gonna put this cool lid on it and keep them nice and fresh. If you want the recipe, let me know and I'll send it over. And I'd love to know what you do with your leftover bananas, because I tend to repeat the same recipes for when I have leftover bananas. So I'd love to hear your thoughts.